Well, Heather, just want to share some updates and grants, professional development and resources for you. And we'll share all of these links afterwards in the minutes as well. So you can share it with your team. Can you see my screen all right? Great. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're just going to run through these pretty quickly because you may have already gotten some of these in your emails, but it's reminders for you. There's a lot of funds and grants out there available for you and your cafeteria staff. The first one I wanted to touch on is the Full Plates, Full Potential, the Summer Meals Grant. This is $500 to $10,000. If you haven't registered for a profile on this, do it as soon as you can. May 19th is the due date for this. And there is a lot of money that is coming to the state of Maine. So this is kind of a no-brainer when it comes to funding for schools. It can help with new meal sites, transportation for kids, partnering with your local food pantry or other organization where kids are getting summer meals. So if you're not the point person for that, please forward this information to the key person in your school system so they can help apply for this grant. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the USDA Healthy Meal Incentives. You can register for the technical assistant webinar. That is scheduled for May 10th, and the registration is just down at the bottom here. Technical assistants, they do have webinars that have already been presented for the pre-launch. The link will be provided in the minutes again. This is one that you do need to qualify. And Kate, you may know already whether their school qualifies or not. I do know all of Hancock and Washington County, all of my school sites do qualify. They do require that you're part of one of the local codes of 41, 42, or 43. They're basically rural districts that qualify. So I think that would include Heather. Is that right?
Yeah, it would probably would.
Yeah.
Like, is it if we're less than 50% or more than 50%? Or
it's not necessarily the percent. It's a different qualifier that I can't tell you off the top of my head. I had watched the video pre-vacation and I honestly don't remember the exact qualifier, but it wasn't specific to the 50%. I'm
Okay.
quite sure you do qualify. When I was looking at it, I'm pretty sure all of our districts qualified. Except for maybe the city of Bangor, that might be the only non-qualifier. It's generally small communities that are like 5,000 or schools that are 5,000 or less. So I'm pretty sure, Heather, you are going to qualify for that one as well. Good question. Fuel Up to Play. This will be due May 2nd, very short turnaround. I know a lot of schools have been applying for these. Again, funds available, and this might work really well for you, Heather, if you have the time. Their application process, what I understand, is really fairly simple. So keep that in mind. And again, if you're not the contact person to apply for that, make sure you forward it to your grant.
Just for the coolers?
It can be coolers, it can be smoothies. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, smoothie makers and cooler smoothie makers. There's one more I'm missing. I think the water bottles, I believe, were part of it, if I remember right. Okay. Let's see. Those are the grant highlights I wanted to do. Professional development. We'll get into that. Let's Go is one of the resources we're still using as HEAL coordinators. So they do have a lot of great web on demand. If your cafeteria staff has half an hour of time when they're just prepping food or whatnot, these are great to listen to even as a podcast. You can sometimes just do this as a multitask. So great skills, especially if you have new staff on board, basic training in culinary skills or healthy breakfast, whatever your staff are looking for to expand their understanding and ways to really provide healthy eating for your cafeterias. Let's see. Next, I wanted to check in on resources. National Farm to School, the USDA and National Farm to School provided this really great webinar. It's on Zoom right now. Excuse me. It was done on Zoom. It's on YouTube. And we'll provide that in the minutes. This was one of the resources they referred to. Just a really great useful resource on how to communicate the benefits of universal meals. So we'll share that YouTube video link with you in the minutes as well. You can watch it at a later date. And also USDA, the nutrition updates. You may have heard about the nutrition updates that are coming in the next few years. The most pressing one is going to be for the fall of this year with regards to grains. But through this whole update, just wanted to let you know there is a due date of May 10th is the deadline to get your feedback into USDA about these proposed standards. So if you have any questions or comments that you want to add to what the proposals are for their next years of strategic planning with changes in nutrition, this is your time to get your voice heard, and any of your cafeteria staff as well. You'll find that, let's see, there's a link on this page. If I can find it now, infographic. I believe it's at the top here. Here we go. So right at the top of the page, May 10th, submit your comments right here online, and you can take a look at what the actual proposal is for implementation on this page as well. So these are some of the timelines that they're looking at. So fall of 24, the whole grains, that's going to be the newest change that's coming down the road. And later they'll be changing sugars, milk, sodium, and then in 2027 added sugar, sodium, and then the fall of 29 will be sodium. So as you're thinking about procurement or who handles procurement at your schools, just be mindful that there's going to be changes coming down the road. Next, Harvest of the Month. Heather, are you participating in Harvest of the Month?
We do.
Yeah, okay. So you probably already know these resources. If you haven't already, just know that you can get a bunch of free stickers. I know kids at our schools tend to love getting stickers. So just ordering your stickers online and using these resources. They also have some great webinars too. If you have new cafeteria staff, this is a great resource to send them to as well. And Maine Farm and Sea to School Network. That is one of the other resources I wanted to share with you, are you also aware of Maine Farm and Sea to School?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So just a short, again, great on-demand webinar resources here. And if you're working towards attending a future culinary school or symposium, bringing your team together, there's really great resources through Maine Farm to School and the National Farm to School as well. And HEAL coordinators, we can also, I do in my district anyway, if they need me as a partner when it comes to Farm to School, I facilitate any technical assistance with Farm to School. Cool. So you know that. You already know toolkits from Farm to School, great resources again. So I'll skip over that. These links will all be in the minutes. And I think this was the last one I wanted to share. This was the some of the toolkits actually through Maine Farm to School practices. And I believe one other thing I did want to mention about, besides the toolkits, was the forward contract purchasing. So procurement, the Maine Farm to School does have the procurement and process. If you're looking to get farms to bring their produce to your school, this is your technical assistance and contact for that. They have the contracts on getting that set up, the templates on how to set that up with local farms, if that's something you're interested in doing for your schools. And with that, that is all I have to share for resources today. That was a quick high-level check-in with you on the resources available to you. Again, as HEAL coordinators, we're here to support your healthy eating initiatives. So you can always reach out to us. Full Plates, Full Potential is also a great resource for helping you connect with the resources you need. Cool. Any questions?
I don't think so.
Cool.
So it's interesting to have a facilitated discussion with people who aren't nutrition directors, but curious to know how things are going. Like what's happening in schools in April? Like, is it sort of looking ahead to summer meals? Like I've never done your job before. Clue me in.
I finished all my summer food application before I left for break, so I knew I wouldn't have that in the back of my mind. I actually just started planning because I had a little bit of downtime this morning, so I actually started planning my June menu already. Looking over, we're doing our inventory because it's the end of the month, so I'm looking over my inventory, seeing what we have an abundance of, so I can start putting that in the menu and, yeah, just trying to stay afloat right now. Kids are, I have the fun part of the job where kids come to talk to me because they want to, not because they have to. But let's face it, the kids do not want to be here right now. They're checked out.
Yeah.
The staff is already checked out. So
Yeah.
so right now it's trying to keep them happy and give them what they want for food. And
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting position that you're in. You bring up a good point. Like, you're not a teacher, you're not a principal or an admin, like,
I am part of admin.
well, you're part
I'm
of
not,
admin.
I'm
They
the
don't view you as a disciplinarian person
correct,
though. Like, they
correct.
don't see you as like going to the principal's office.
Right. No, I go into the admin meeting and I do my 30 minutes of fame and then I actually leave and they continue the meeting. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So nice, nice. So will you have summer meals at your school, or will they'll be at the school
Yep,
this
our
year?
summer meal kickoff is going to be June 20th. Yep.
Nice. And then how many staff do you keep on for summer meals? Like,
The kitchen manager and myself. So just the two of us. And I only come in once or twice a week. So she does it all herself.
is it 5 days? I know some of them run like not
Yep.
even full, but yeah, 5 days. I bet you get a lot of kids too.
Well, we have summer school
Okay.
almost the whole summer.
So they're right there.
They are.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have lots of sports camps that will house themselves here. And they work around having the breakfast and lunch. The kids, when they come to the camp, they have a free breakfast and a free
Yep.
lunch. So they use that to their advantage. So it's a
Yep.
win-win situation for us as well as the kids, as well as to the program. So
Yeah. Wow. That's actually such a nice way to do it. I feel like in Penobscot County, I'm not sure how they do that. I know my daughter's school, we live in Winterport, and one year, and so they qualify for the summer meals. And one year she did a childcare program for the summer that was right at the school, and the summer meal program was right there, and it was so nice that I didn't have to pack food for her
yeah,
that summer.
we,
And like she's gonna get fed, and it was great.
we do the meals for the YMCA. They come that we only lunches. So the YMCA will, any kid that goes there, that they can sign up for the lunch. The Y comes over and picks it up at a certain time every day, then brings it back over. So all those kids that are in their program gets a free lunch. Penquis actually takes advantage, and it's cool for them because it's saving Penquis money.
Yep.
Because they have a daycare program across the street. So we do it year round. We provide Penquis meals for them, and then we build Penquis. So they use us as like a catering service. So in the summertime, however, they don't have to pay for their meals because they're free. So it's a cool opportunity.
I wish there was more things to do that with childcare, with summer camps, summer programs. Like, I would love to see a collaboration with schools. And I think Old Town, I think a couple of years, it might have started kind of during COVID, that RC34 and Old Town Orono Y were partnering to do some of the meals during those the hybrid schedule. I mean, it might have even been during like I can't remember. COVID feels like so long ago, but when everything was just chaos, and it was like trying to figure out, like, kids had to be in childcare on the remote days, but because parents were working, and I think they did something like that. So like that's great. I'd love to pick your brain more, like have you talk more about that. If we
I
can
think
grow
there's
this group.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of untapped potential as far as
Mm-hmm.
summer programs. The past 2 years, I was the consultant for the Penquis region, so Piscataquis, Penobscot, and Somerset County. And looking at the different schools' programs, there were some schools that were just hitting it out of the ballpark and doing awesome. And then there's other schools that they have, like, that resource is there, but the area the area is not using it to their potential.
Well,
I was reaching
and
out.
sometimes they put the summer meal program like in a park or something like that. And it's like, put it where the kids are,
Right,
make it
right.
easy for them to get the meals.
Like I reached out to some of our local churches last year and said, when you do your vacation Bible school, reach out to us, let us know, because again, we can provide a breakfast and a lunch, and those kids can do your program, and it's going to save you money because you're not having to buy that food for the kids,
Yeah.
and we'll be getting that reimbursement, but the kids are going to be getting meals. So
That's fabulous. That's that. I didn't even think about that. That's another great example. That would be, it's like, and here we are with summer, everyone's probably already kind of planned out their summer meals, but next year we got to get you, we got to grow this group, and then we got to get you, this is amazing. That's great. Sandy.
Yeah, definitely want to build off of that. That is great work you're doing, Heather. Thank you so much. That whole environmental change for healthy eating in the whole community, that's what we would love to be part of. Couple of questions about that. So you said you help YMCA in Penquis. So does that mean that you are an open summer meal location?
We are an open site. So anybody that comes in under the age of 18 can get a breakfast and get a lunch.
And how do you work that into your procurement for food? Knowing how many meals you're going to have, people have to register ahead of time, correct? No. Okay.
It's always just drop in. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing it for so long. We know roughly how many kids are going to be here. Okay. So in the morning for summer school, we do get at breakfast time, we do get a count for lunch. So we know how many of the summer school kids, and then we know roughly how many kids will be here that normally come every day. Sporting camps, yes, we know how many kids again at breakfast. We'll know how many kids are coming for lunch. When the YMCA, they'll call in the morning to tell us how many lunches. So it's open. It's open for whoever comes in.
Nice. That's amazing. Do you know about how many you've been serving in the past?
I can tell you.
That's going to be tricky when you're only 2 staff members, if you suddenly get a surge in need.
Well, there's staff here.
Yeah.
So there is staff if need be. Let's see, summer.
And I also would love to know about how you got your board to buy in for keeping you on for the staffed position, right? To make that community connection.
Let's see. I don't have a breakdown of day. Let's see. I thought I had a breakdown of each day, but on average, last summer, on average, we did 80 in July. Actually in June, we did on average 119 kids a day for breakfast and 151 for lunch. In July, we averaged 81 children for breakfast, 97 for lunch. And in August, it went down, 53 for breakfast and 67 for lunch. So it varies, but that was our average each
And are you using farm to school at all, or a CSA, farm drop, any of that?
No.
Not currently. Okay. Is that something you have an interest in the future?
Yes.
What's the complication?
Well, we've reached out to our local farms, but they just don't produce enough that we would need.
Right. And that's part of the point of doing a farm procurement, is getting ahead of the schedule to understand. They don't understand what the needs are. So I attended the ag conference this summer down in Augusta, and sat in a great circle of culinary staff and chef and farmers, and everybody was at the table saying, well, I need 10,000 pounds of carrots. And the farmer's like, well, I didn't know you needed that, so I didn't plant 10,000 pounds of carrots. I need to know in January what you need in the fall. Otherwise, they can't get it ready for you. So trying to put it all together, and the implementation and the strategy for that is really critical. But if you're interested in it, again, probably work with Kate or the local farm to school, because we definitely want to see more local produce in the schools.
Right.
Well, and that's, another thing that we've been talking about in Penobscot County is, the gleaning of the farmers markets, and who can take that gleaned produce and use it before it rots. Because food, there's certain foods that like potatoes and onions might be able to store for a while, but some things they have to be used right away. And then I'm wondering about like how tricky that is for a school nutrition program. If you get a whole bunch of whatever it might be, like green beans or whatever, are you able to like quickly
Right.
do something with that? Or is that just kind of more of a headache? You know what I mean? Because that has to be like doable for the equipment you have, the staff you have, what the kids are going to eat. If the green beans end up in the trash anyway, it does nobody any good. So all of those are kind of things that I think about too. It's like it's easy to say, oh, just give them to the schools or just give them to this place or that place, but can they actually use them? Are people going to actually eat them? Are they just going to end up in the trash? So I don't know.
I think that also is, it depends on the location. I know that sounds weird, but like the farm to school with the free fish, I think personally that's awesome, but we don't use it, because if I were to serve fresh fish in this school, there might be 10 kids that eat.
So
They'll
interesting
throw
that you
around.
bring up the fish, because Kate and I were just on
Mhm.
what was that farm to institution, New England Farm to Institute. Did
Yep.
you go to that conference, Heather?
I I didn't go to the conference, but they talk about it a lot at the different conferences.
Yeah.
They do talk about them, and it's an
Yeah.
awesome program, but I just,
Yeah.
our kids wouldn't eat it. However, down in Southern Maine, the kids eat it more often. The kids eat it at home, so they will eat it at school.
Right.
Yeah, and I would suggest just starting with a taste test. I know just like parents say, my kids won't eat anything, right? So with a local school here, I got 40 pounds of salmon, and the cafeteria staff just ordered up a taste testing day so that kids could actually taste the salmon and figure out, do they really like it or don't they like it, before you go full-fledged on fish.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard it's hard to think about like balancing the costs and the waste. And then of course, yeah, if it's in the trash, then it does the kids no good. It's not nutrition until it's eaten. So yeah.
Yeah, and I would also recommend some of the ways I've implemented taste testing is actually at the parent teacher nights or move up night as well. So just giving a little taste
Yeah.
to kids coming into the school of, these are some options that we may be seeing, and having that conversation with parents on board, that helps to just kind of create a new menu possibility for them.
I think it always helps if they see their peers eating it and liking it. Now, it does no good if their best friend eats it and is like, ew, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Then that's like, does the opposite. But, if their best, like my daughter, she's like, she's almost 10 and she's now eating school lunch more than ever. Oh, but I should tell you, but this is really cute. I saw somebody sent me these girls on TikTok. They're like 8th graders and they rate their school lunch. And they make this video and they taste everything. They're like, today we have, chicken patty on a bun and we have, this green bean, and they do. And it's amazing. And they're so honest. One's a little pickier than the other. But they'll, I give this, this chicken patty with the ranch, it's a 8, without the ranch, it's a 6, and it's so cute. It's I'll have to find the link and I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
It's just for pure entertainment. But
Right.
so I told my daughter about it. We watched a couple of videos and now her and her friend rate the school lunch.
Food critic.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah,
food
it's
control initiative.
super cute. But anyway, like they get lots of comments too, because one girl gets cucumbers and vinegar every day off the salad bar, and people in the comments are like, your school has a salad bar? And they're just amazed that there's, and they have like a lot of, seems like they have a lot of different sauces. Like they'll have hot sauce that kids can add, and different, like almost like, I don't know, like a flavor bar kind of thing, is what I kind of envision, because they have all sorts of dips and dressings and sauces and things that the kids can use to like doctor up their meal. And I think anything that can get kids to eat it,
Right.
like, and I
They were
don't know.
talking about at the conference, like making the fish look more presentable to kids, like doing like fish nuggets, something that they're used to, like chicken nuggets, but it's fish.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just suggesting like making it look appealing to students rather than just throwing a fish
Yeah.
on a plate.
I've
I
seen,
mean,
I feel like I've seen like fish tacos on school menus more, like that seems to be a common way to serve it, like a mild white fish.
Well,
and
I
as a
get into
taco.
cultural aspects as well. If you can get the history, teachers engaged in that and finding out what they're presenting, it's a really great way to tie it into their curriculum.
I
Can I
engage
back up
kids
on
a lot menu planning. Like if I'll see them just sitting at the table not eating, I have no problem going up to them and sitting
Right.
beside them going, okay, what's it gonna take for you to eat hot lunch? And that's how we get sushi in the school. Granted, we buy it and it's, you know, pre-made sushi, but we've bought it and the kids love it. We don't
That's
have it very
awesome.
often, but
Yes.
one kid said, bring sushi to school. And I did. They're like, you listen to me. Of course I listen to you. That's my job. I'm here to feed you and make you happy.
I think that's great. Like these are really good ideas, and I'm sure a lot of school nutrition directors are already doing these things. And
yeah.
so it's like, but I wonder about like new people that haven't done it. Like if I got a job as school nutrition director, I would be loving to hear all this stuff because I've never done that
It's
job before.
overwhelming when I first took the position. It's very overwhelming because there's lots of regulations that you have to follow
Yeah.
and paperwork and it's incredibly overwhelming. So
Yeah.
Heather, is there a place to share like your ordering and procurement with other? I have two nutrition directors. They're in their first year. And they weren't able to attend today. So I've recorded this. I hope I have your permission to share with them.
Sure.
They would definitely learn from the process that you're going through, but I didn't know if you're able to share
sorry.
process.
My overhead is going to start going off roughly every 2 minutes now that it's after 2 o'clock. It'll be constant. So it's always hard, this part, to talk.
Yeah, would love to learn more from you. And my question earlier too about working with your school board on getting authorization for funding to have you work through the summer. Were there any sort of tips and tricks on getting approval for that through the summer? You may have a
I didn't have any issues because somebody has to be able to do the paperwork and file the claim. So
yeah,
I just did the budget.
Yeah.
And our school is very fortunate that we have we're very self-sufficient. So we don't get any money from the school. We get our reimbursements.
great. Yeah, that's fabulous. Sounds like you've done a fabulous job there. They are lucky to have you, and we are lucky to have you join us today and share your amazing knowledge. Looking forward to sharing it with other nutrition directors in the region. Is there anything we can do to help you better serve your students, Heather?
I don't think so. Usually if I need something, I'm right on the phone calling Kate and asking.
You
And
are so lucky to have Kate. She's so
yes, absolutely. And I'm still asking questions too. So, you know, you're more than welcome to give my name to those directors, and I'm willing to help with whatever I can. I have David and Augusta on speed dial and Paula, so I'm always still asking questions because I would rather make sure it's done correctly than try to muddle my way through it. So I'm always still asking questions. So I'd be happy to help with what I can.
And do you participate in the Dirigo procurement in August?
Do not.
Do not. Okay. So won't be part of that. Sounds good. Nice. I can't think of anything else to share. Happy to stay on and have more conversation with whatever you need, but want to be mindful that this is your day and you have a lot going on. So Heather, you get to call the shots.
I'm personally all set.
Great. Any more wrap up from Kate and Deb?
I don't think so. I think
so.
one last thing was the main school garden day on May 13th at Hamden Academy, or no, Reedsbrook.
Reedsbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna go. It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.